PC Kerman. PC Kerman. Uh, Today I'm going to talk about Windows Vista and how to tweak your Windows Vista system for better performance, and how you can actually turn up some of the Vista services that you don't require, and also it can actually help to secure your computer a little bit more. Unfortunately, today there's still quite a number of computers that are vulnerable to attacks from script kiddies and what I would call the bad guys. Okay, now unfortunately, a lot of people don't know how to basically make their computer performance a lot better. Some people have the problems that their computers are running slow, and some people have the problems that their computers are crashing. So what do you do if you don't know anything about computers and you don't know how to find out? Well, lucky today for you, you've got me, PC Kerman. I'm on blog TV as PC Kerman, and I have a few videos there. Feel free to view the videos. Some of them are on Linux, and some are on programs, and some are in Windows. I also have a website, www.pckerman.com, and feel free to go to the website. There is a Sonar Alarm banner there, which is a good security product. Have a look at it, click on the banner and have a look. They're doing a special promotion at the minute, and it's a good program to help you protect yourself on the internet. There also was a number of links on the website, banners to do with banned computers and gadgets, and there's quite a number of cheap items. If you need memory for your computer, a CD-ROM drive, or you need a USB external port, or if you need an external graphics card or monitor, or even to buy a computer, there's quite a number of secure links. There's also a couple of videos on the website to do with Linux. If you're fed up with Windows and you want to try a different operating system, Linux distros are free. There's the odd one, sorry, that would ask for a small donation, but quite a number of them are free. And I have spent quite a bit of time doing Linux this last couple of videos. But to help yourselves that don't understand how to install it or download it. So today we're going to be talking about Vista, and I will be doing XP and Windows 7 and the Mac computer in the near future. So as you see in front of you here is Windows Vista, and I'm going to right click here and get rid of these icons. And obviously you'll see a picture there of my two grandchildren that's on it. So I want to go to personalize by right clicking, and with Windows 7 and Windows Vista you have what they call a security control system built in it. Basically it asks you permission whenever you want to do something, and we want to go to screen desktop background, and we want to go to Windows wallpapers. So if you're fed up with the desktop background, you can change it by doing this, what I'm exactly doing myself here. So let's see what we can find. And these are basic Vista ones, but you can actually download backgrounds online if you feel free to do it. Okay. So let's try this one. Okay. Hopefully that's not too bright. So Windows Vista. Now what you see here, you notice that I clicked on the mouse and I want to personalize. And you have your display settings here if you want to change your display settings. Now default is usually roughly, I think it's 600 by 800. But because I have an external graphics card, I can set it for a higher display. Now there's 3 gigs of memory in this one. You notice I have mine set to 1920 by, I think it's 1080 pixels. And I also have 3 monitors. Now to work 3 monitors on a desktop computer, basically you have every desktop computer comes with an onboard graphics card. So obviously you could connect one monitor to it, and the other one can connect to your external cards. That will give you 2. Now, external graphics cards come with an adapter fitting for what they call high definition video lead, and that will give you 3 monitors. So the first one is basically a TV, a Samsung TV, but I use it as a monitor for the computer. Most of the nowadays you can do that. That's the second one, and that's the third. Now by doing that, it gives me basically extra disk space. And you notice the first one I've set it to, this is my main monitor. The second one, extend the desktop on this monitor, and the third one. So basically I can drag this stuff over to the other monitor. Screensaver, I normally set mine and I don't want the screensaver coming on because I'm usually using the computer or doing something on it. But you can set it for the screensaver. Now to tweak Windows Vista, I'll give you a couple of ideas how you can make your computer performance a wee bit better. One thing I'd like you to remember, that's basically a bust security product. I try out a number of different ones every other day. Okay, so basically you can click here, and you can leave it set by default, or I would basically put mine up to just by pressing the arrow key like that. Now also I would change the power settings, which would save me the bother of having to move the mouse all the time on the computer. Basically your screensaver would come on if you didn't change it, So change when to turn off the display. I would click here, and I've set mine for 5 hours. Put the computer to sleep. Never. If I want to put the computer to sleep, I have to go out or something. Obviously, I can change it to suit myself. I don't want to set it for 1 minute. And save changes. Now, these are basic things that you can do on a computer, but this is for people that have computers that maybe are only starting, and you always have to click apply and click OK. And remember my answer. Now, it's like everything else on computers, you learn. Sometimes you learn by mistakes, and sometimes you learn the hard way, or sometimes you learn by operating the computer. You pick up different things. So if I go to theme, now it depends on the processor on your computer, whether it's a 4.2 or 3.6, and how much you've got on your hard drive and what you're actually doing in the background. And obviously this is what they call a Microsoft Windows Error Report. Sometimes you get this and sometimes you don't. But basically you can turn off the themes, which basically if you go to here and click Windows Classic and click apply, Okay, so that the background has went to Windows Classic, which is basically a blue background. So by turning off all this fancy stuff, you gain more resources for your computer, and it helps your computer performance to run that bit smoothly. And you close by clicking the small box. Now, if you go to Start and you right click, I have a few programs running in the background, so sometimes it takes a wee bit of time. You go to Properties, and you have Classic Start menu, or you can leave it on the Vista by default. It will come set here. So if I go to Start, basically you would get something similar to Windows XP. And you want to go up to Accessories and you want to go to System Tools. Now, these are a couple of small things that you can do to help your computer performance run that bit smoother. You click Disk Cleanup. And I would choose files from all users on this computer because I'm the only one that's using this computer. But if you have sharing the computer with somebody else, you would click your files only. And this is basically a safety feature that was built into Windows Vista when it first came out, and it's also built into Windows 7. I apologise if you hear sort of a squeaky noise in the background. It's just this computer chair needs a wee drop of 3-in-1 oil or something in it. And the reason I make my videos longer than a normal 10-minute video is because I put more details and more information into them, because YouTube now allows me to put up videos for an hour or etc. At the start it was about up to 10 minutes only, but they've allowed me now to put up videos longer than that now, so that's a lot better for me, which means I can take my time and go through more details with this. I'm just waiting on the computer, basically going through the motions of bringing up the disk cleaner. Now you'll see here the disk cleaner, and basically it's scanning the computer to find out and bring up all the temporary files and internet files and etc. I would suggest that you would do this while you don't have your browser open and you're not on Facebook or somewhere like that there, because you will understand why when you see me doing a number of computer tweaks. Basically, a tweak is to turn off certain features that you don't require, and it does give you better performance on your computer. So I'm just waiting on it scanning the memory dump files and etc. Now basically a dump file is whenever something goes wrong or your computer crashes, it drops a dump file onto your system, but you can turn that off and set it to basically give you a different reading. But that's more or less for advanced people, because you do get error codes, what they call, and you have to Google these error codes if you have a second computer to find out exactly whether it's telling you it's a graphics problem or it's a driver problem or etc. Now in Windows Vista, the only reason I do have it on the computer is for this purpose only, is for helping people with their computers. Because as technology moves on, and obviously I, I help people with Linux, XP, Mac, Windows 7, you can understand why I would keep Vista on, because there is small things sometimes you forget where they are, and by having it, the system there, it makes it that more easier. It's like everything else, as you learn over the years, some things you still remember and some things you're inclined to forget about. You know, if you think you've got a virus in your computer, don't worry about it, don't panic. You can go to Google, you can type in an online scan, and you can do it. There's plenty of web servers now that have online scans and will remove the virus off your computer. And there's quite a number of ways that you can actually do that yourself by learning the processes as you go along, and you will become more understandable how to remove it yourself. And you can save yourself a few pounds or sometimes a lot of money, because if you take it to computer shops, them guys might have to spend 2 or 3 hours trying to take up a particular virus off, depending where it's hid and depending where it is. So by learning yourself, you can save yourself money, and you can also secure your computer. Just because you buy a security software program and put it on your computer, it doesn't mean to say that your system is secure. There's quite, unfortunately, a number of ways that you can gain access to a computer. There's quite a number of gadgets that people use so that they can see your computer screen from outside your home. So from time to time, I would hide the icons, basically so they wouldn't know exactly what programs I have on my computer. Because unfortunately, if you go to Google and type in how to hack a certain program, a lot of these people have put up how to do it. So by keeping your computer a little bit more private, you would sort of think that because it's in your home that nobody can see it. Well, unfortunately, there is. Computers do give out computer frequencies and etc. And with the old copper wires nowadays, you can pick up what they call wireless frequencies. And if they're bad enough and they want to mess you about, they can do it. And so you have to sort of work your way around it. Now, before you start clicking all these boxes, I'm doing it because I know what I'm doing. Basically, read it, okay, before you actually start ticking them all or delete it. Now, you can click few files here to be on the safe side. If you're not sure, go to Google and Google the file to find out exactly what it is before you delete it. And click OK. And it'll ask me and I click delete. So it's now cleaning up basically the recycle bin, temporary files, etc. Some people opt to leave their recycle bin. Basically, if they happen to send a file to a mistake, they can recover it. Personally speaking, I would set my recycle bin to delete the file permanently, and I would use a third-party program to shred it, which is basically writes over it so many times that makes it a bit harder for to use a data recovery program or for someone to try and find out what it exactly was that I put in the bin. So we're going to just clean up, we'll bring the icons back to desktop. And we will go to, this is the recycle bin here. I would right click recycle bin. And go to properties. And I would take it. Do not move files to recycle bin, remove them immediately when delete it. Okay. But to be on the safe side, you're better using what they call a program to write over it a number of times. Now, if I double click on computer, there's not a big hard drive in this computer because I have a number of external hard drives and docking systems available to me that I can put a USB connection in and load up another hard drive if required. It's a lot better than when I first started. It was a 2 GB hard drive. I think it was a Pentium 3. You'll notice this hard drive is running slightly out of space, which isn't a good thing because it will slow your computer down. These are 2 DVD drives that I have in, and these would be card readers, etc. So what I will do later on is put an external drive in and send some of this over. Now, I can compress it if I want. If I right click and I go to properties, there is tools in your computer system that you can use for checking your hard drive for errors and etc. There's also quite a number of third-party programs that you can download to do that too. So these are a few simple things that you can do on your computer. Now this isn't my main computer that I would use every day on the internet. This is one that I would use for probably a bit of research or something like that. Just waiting on the hard drive opener. Now you must not fill your hard drive completely, otherwise your computer will go slow because you need a certain amount of virtual memory on your computer. You can use what they call extra USB sticks and use them as virtual memory, but it's wise to leave a certain amount of hard drive space on your computer. Now, if you go to Tools here and you click this one here, this will check the volume for errors and it will automatically fix them. This is the basically Windows defragmentation program, and this is for doing backups. Okay, it is advisable to do a backup on your computer because if it crashes and you don't have spin rate, which you can buy from GRC website, well then you're in big trouble. But I am lucky I have spin rate, and it's $92 to buy. You download it as an ISO. Now, automatically fix errors, and I can also scan and attempt recovery of bad sectors and click start. Now, because you're using the C drive, it'll not start, you restart your computer. So the defragmentation tool you can use, but there's a number of third-party tools which I believe are a lot better. If you are going to defragment your computer, I would suggest that you do it in safe mode, where there's less programs running. Otherwise, you're not going to get what they call a proper defragmentation. Okay, so let's take the icons away again. Now, how you know is that people can see your computer screen outside is because I have experienced it myself. If you were to say to your friend, we lad down the street is scanning your computer outside, people will probably laugh at you. But it can be done. Unless you happen to be lucky and live in one of them government security buildings where the walls are well thick and everything else, and it stops the information going out. Computers do broadcast a certain amount of computer frequency. The same as hospital scanners, the computer frequency is 153, and it's been proven on TV before, you know, with a laptop and a small RL, a homemade RL with a Coke can, you can scan computers by using programs. So I would hide the icons as a security because I have experienced a lot of crap over the years, and unfortunately they've got away with it, but hopefully not for too long. So that's a few things you can do there. Now, if you were to go to the control panel, you notice I want to start settings control panel. And you'll notice it's starting to load up here. Now, let's see. I want to go to classic view. Also, if you go to YouTube and type in PC Kermon, You will see a number of videos that I've done already. I think there's 153 up to now. Feel free to check them out now. Some of them are on Skype, how to use Skype. Some of them are on how to use Manicam. If you want an extra program for fax with your webcam, if you're broadcasting, or you want to do videos. There's also some on browsers, different types of browsers that you can use. Now, I would recommend, if you are browsing the internet, I would recommend Google Chrome or the Firefox browser. You also have a browser called Opera and Safari. I definitely personally would not use Internet Explorer. That's my own opinion, because I've been using computers in Windows 95 and I've come quite along since then, because most days I would listen to a podcast, or I would do a bit of research or try and give myself a wee bit more education. So I've experienced Internet Explorer, and I definitely personally think and believe it's not as safe as I would like it to be. Now, this is your control panel by the classic view on Windows Vista. If you do have the money, I would advise you to upgrade to Windows 7, because I believe Windows 7 is more secure than Windows Vista. Now, if I double click on the administration tools, you will see a number of different services. Sorry, you see a number of services that's built into your system. You've got computer management. Okay, now you want to go to services and double click it. This will bring up the services that are running on your computer. And these are by default in Windows 7, Windows XP, and Windows Vista. You will notice that I'm not rushing through the videos, because I have experienced in the past when you're watching a video, it goes out quick, and you have to maybe watch it 2 or 3 times for to understand. So that's why I take the time when I'm doing these, to give the like of yourselves uh, the time, and you're not rushing about to watch the video again and again, exactly what I'm doing on the screen. And I'm just waiting on the Windows services coming up on Vista. Now in here you will see services that are part of your operating system, and I will go through a few of them with you very shortly when this loads up. Now the reason the mouse is flickering is because I'm using a program to do a desktop recording, to be able to present this video to you. Now obviously, to get the quality, it depends on the program and how you set it up. So we'll notice here the services are starting to load up here. So we'll open up the services folder, and here you have services and Windows Vista. Now to find out exactly what each service does, you click highlight it. Just click it once and it'll tell you here exactly on the left what it does. Now some of these services I would personally turn off, because I believe they are not only a security risk, but they clog the computer down and they help it up a bit better. Now you'll notice I have turned off TCP IP NetBus helper. Now the reason I turned that off is because it's a security risk in my opinion, and I learned about it over the years and I have turned it off. Uh, Windows Update Time, that's Windows Update. Windows Update Time basically synchronizes with the internet and keeps your time up to date. I would turn that off, personally speaking, myself. Windows Error Report, basically I personally turn it off, but for the user, you can actually leave it on. Now, first of all, I would disable it. I would click apply. I would go to recovery, take no action. I would click OK, but I want to go back until it again because I want to disable it. Now, when I was using Windows XP, I noticed that a guy had lived beside me was basically using the service built into it or to gain access to my computer. And I also noticed that I want to stop it, so I click stop. I've also noticed that over the years from Windows XP, even Windows Vista and Windows 7, some of the updates that Microsoft supply actually close some of the services. So I learned all about that from Windows XP first came out, and I found out that the guy was basically had found out how to basically hack through Windows service on the operating system that I was using at that time, and this is exactly how I learned about this. Now, to be on the safe side, you want to bring up your browser, and you notice this is Google Chrome coming up. If you're using Windows XP, we'll talk about that in another day, but if you're using Windows Vista, I'll show you exactly what to do to be on the safe side. Now, if you have your system backed up and you're quite happy and you're confident operating your system, you can turn off System Restore and it will give you that wee bit extra. So I want to go here and I want to type in, first of all, just bear with me. Oh. Okay. These wireless keyboards aren't the best. So I'm just waiting on the browser loading up. I will have fiber optic in very soon, and I'll notice quite a change with the speed and etc. Now these are only some small things that you can do. There's quite a number of things you can actually do to make your computer a wee bit secure. If you're using wireless connection, make sure it's encrypted and make sure it's at least 15 to 20 letters long, upper and lower spaces on your keyboard. Do not use names, date of birth, or addresses. And prefer WAP2 because web WB is out of date, it's not secure. Okay, so what I would do here is I would type in turn off Windows Vista safe services. And it says here you'll be presented with quite a number, but I would prefer to go to Black Viper because I've been using Black Viper from XP first came out, and the guy has actually put in and tested it himself. Now, by turning off services, you do not break your Windows Vista operating system because as long as you write down that you've turned off and you're finding a problem connecting to the internet, you can also go back in and turn it on the same way as you turned it off. Now, Windows Messenger I do not use because it's too easy to be hacked into. I'm just waiting on this loading up here. This is Black Viper's website. And this is one that I would use. Feel free to read it, okay, before you exactly do anything. Now you'll notice here that it explains here for a tweaker. Okay, so if you want to tweak your system, you can do these. If you're want to use your head, I would use the safe one. So basically you would go down here, and if you scroll down, right, these are the services. It's safe, okay. Windows Vista Service Pack 1 configuration, so Windows Vista Service configuration, so let's go to it. And as I say, read it. Okay, now these would be services here. Application experience. To be on the safe side, you can disable it. So basically, you can have this up and then you can bring up your services. So I'm looking for application experience. And you just basically go down until you find it. Application experience. Let's see, I have to go up. Okay, application experience here is by default it's automatic. So if I double click it, and by going by Black Viper's, I would click disable. Also make sure you go to recovery and set it to take no action, otherwise it'll restart when you start the computer and you'll have wasted your time. And I would click apply, I would click stop. So this is how you tweak your computer. Close up window because we have this time of year people like cutting their grass, and I don't want to be giving us too much background noise. Okay, so that's how you disable a service. Now, if you go back to Black Viper and you go down to safe, when you go to the next one, it says to be on the safe side, disable, which is application management. Okay, if you click application management on Black Viper website, it should give you a description here and explain to exactly what it does and what it's for. So, as I say, if you want to sit and write it down before you actually do it, then you're not going to, or you can always go back to the website and you can look at the default and basically set it back to the default. Okay, automatic start by default, safe by disable, tweaking by disable. Some of these services some of these services are on your computer, and by turning them off, you can basically help the performance of your computer system. Now, obviously, if you're using a printer, you don't want to be turning off the printer, otherwise your printer will not work. Okay, so but to be in the safe, go to the safe. Okay, you will notice here it says Black Viper Service Pack 2 configuration. Okay, Windows Vista, most people will have Service Pack 2 if they've done their updates properly. Okay, so that's how you turn off safe services on your operating system on Windows Vista. Okay, I want to bring that smaller. And basically then you can close the box. Okay. Now, if you go to start, if you don't have your computer set by classic view, obviously you will go to start and you can see your computer. Okay. Right, so I have to show the icons again. Going to right click on computer. I'm going to go to properties, left click. I'm just waiting on it opening up. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter, PC Kermon on Twitter. I'm doing quite a number of political things because, like everybody else, you're only human. There's things that you want to say, but okay. So you'll notice here that this particular operating system has 3 gigabytes of RAM. Okay. Now, my understanding is for Windows Vista, it's you need at least 1 gig. For Windows 7, at least 2 gigs. Otherwise, your computer will be very, very slow. The processor in this one is, you can see there, 3.500. Most of the other systems are 4.1. And I want to upgrade one to Vista, I can click here, or I can put in the disk. Now, remote settings on your operating system comes by default. Uh, Basically, I would turn mine off. As I say, because I'm doing a video here, I'm not really over fussed in Windows Vista, but as I say, I have it here for educational purposes. Windows 7 is something similar, only it's got a few extras, but it's something you would operate it something similar. This is set by default. This is on by default. So basically, you would go to here, you would untick that, and you would untick that, and hit apply. Now, system protection, okay, which is basically system restore. Now, I have personally found out over the years, sometimes restore works, sometimes it doesn't. So I just got this stage because I don't have anything important on my computer. On this particular one, I'm actually going to turn it off. Now, you do not save encrypted pages to disk, and you can do them settings, I'll show you in a second, under your Internet Explorer options. Now, this is system protection, and it's basically searching for store points, and I am going to turn it off to give me that better performance on the computer. The best operating system that I ever had on Windows was Windows 98 Second Edition, and it was a FAT32 file system, and they made it into the NTFS. And my system restore is turned off. Okay, by default this is ticked as left on. I click OK. Now, system restore is okay if you don't have a virus in your computer. But if you have a virus in your computer and you go back in time, you're actually bringing the infection back onto your system. So that's something to keep in mind. Take that. If I go to Start, and because I'm using the classic menu, go to Control Panel. Now, you can use the command prompt in Windows operating system, and you can find out exactly what's running on your computer. You can also bring up the task manager, and you can check the processes. And there is a number of ways of ending the task and taking the bad guy out of your system. But I'll do them videos later on for that's the experienced user. That's not for somebody that's only starting. The guys will watch this video and say, heck, I know how to do that. That's fair enough. This is for people that don't know how to do it. Okay, now, network and internet connection. Then you would go to your internet options. And I would advise that you do this exactly before you go on the internet or to update your system. Windows Vista comes by a firewall by default, but personally speaking, now I'm going to change this here to Google. Okay, Okay, don't use Internet Explorer, but I'm going to set it for Google. Now, if you go to settings here, or if you take us back to the browser history, click never, it is set by default to automatic. 250 you can leave that, and also this here is set, and you can set it to 0 so you're not saving any history. And the reason you do that is because computers leave what they call cookies on your system, and they're tracking cookies and they track your surfing habits. You want to go to advanced, you want to scroll down here, and you want to check that box here, do not save encrypted pages to disk, and that'll be temporary files. Now the reason you don't save encrypted pages to disk is because if someone gains access to your computer and you have to save a file on your computer with something bad in it, and they have it encrypted, you're not going to find out what it is. So Microsoft recommend that too, and I've been doing that well before Microsoft even recommended that. So it proved in another sense I was right from day one. Connections. Now, if you're using dial-up, you would have that set by automatic. If you're using a broadband, then you would have it unticked. Now it is ticked by default, so you untick it and click OK. And that's a couple of simple tweaks for your Internet Explorer for your operating system. Your network connections. If you're using Windows XP, you can tweak it because Microsoft apparently get 2% of your internet connection. Nobody knows what to do with it, but I always take it back off them because it's mine. 2% isn't a lot, but it's just one of them extra tweaks that I would do in the computer system. And if you go to your network connections and manage connections, you'll notice that's an Ethernet connection and that's a wireless connection. If I right click, I don't think I've done this one yet, but I have to do it. Go to properties. Because these things can actually lock down your system a wee bit better. And it can prevent some people from getting access to your computer. A few simple things that you can learn and do on your operating system. Now you can do this in Windows 7 and also in Windows XP. Linux is slightly different and the Mac is slightly different. But there's similarities in some of the settings. Now, if you're a Facebook user account, make a repeat password and also use the secure login feature under your privacy settings. There's no point crying that you were hacked because you will learn if you take the time. Now, file and print here, and I don't take that. I don't take that one. I'm not a client for Microsoft, and I don't take these two. Now, you don't have to do this, but this is something that I would do. I'd also double click here on protocol version 4, and I would tick use the following DNS server, but you must sign up with OpenDNS, make an account, go to Google, type in OpenDNS. You can have a free account or you can pay for extras, and this is the IP address that OpenDNS server uses. And then you put your one in the bottom. I'll take a call back 67. 220.220. Now, these are the OpenDNS servers, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with your service provider, okay? Now basically what happens is you still connect to your service provider, and then you'll be sent to the OpenDNS server, and you click OK. And the reason, you also, I would check the sharing button here, just waiting on it to open up. This one is ticked by default to allow other network users to control it, so I would untick it, okay, and I click OK. Now, go to Google or go to your browser and type OpenDNS. You will get the DNS settings similar to what I've put in there. And basically, by me using the OpenDNS server and setting my account up, basically I can prevent what they call binding attacks to the OpenDNS. And many years ago, or was it a couple of years ago, there was what they call a DNS poisoning. Okay, and I learned about it. And when I contacted AOL, I think it was over 2 years ago, and asked them about it, had they the patch in place for the security? They didn't know what I was talking about. So I learned that from TWIT, Twit, Leo Laporte, and Steve Gibson. So I've got them to thank for that wee bit of education, plus other education they've given me over the years. And this is what I'm doing, passing it on to you. So by using the OpenDNS server, you can also set it instead of using a parental control program. And you can either set it from one computer, or you can go into your broadband router and you can set it to the whole network if you're using more than one system. And I basically just close it. So just waiting on closing. So hopefully this wasn't too boring for you, but hopefully you've learned something out of it. Now, Google Chrome browser, you can download that. It's pretty quick to install. And you can also put on what they call extensions, adware blocker, no script, and etc. Okay. Now, don't download a shared program unless you intend to buy it, because when you remove it, it does leave files behind it. But you can download what they call an unlocker tool for unlocking certain files and taking them off your system. But we'll talk about that on a later date. There's quite a number of security products out there, and they all come by default. So you have to tweak the settings to make it a wee bit more secure. So that's a few simple things that you can do on Windows Vista. And I'm just going to stop the video. So thank you very much. This is PC Careman speaking. I'm known as George on Facebook, but I'm also known as PC Careman in the computer world. Okay, so there's a wee bit of, hopefully a wee bit of education. Now, I could talk about binary codes, but that's not for a beginner. Okay. So that's a few simple things that you can tweak. Now, many years ago, before I learned this, I actually paid $20, and I thought I was going to get a magic fast system on a magic tweak. And basically, the guy, he said he scanned the computer and remove any viruses. Basically, he used a third-party program to scan the computer. And basically, he went in and he done exactly what I had done to tweak it, and he charged me $20. So I'm not looking $20 off you. In return, go to my website and give me a bit of support. There's a feedback form. If there's something you want to know about computers, whether it's a program or there's something wrong with your computer or you're having problems, well, call me your lifesaver. Go to www.pccareman and fill in the feedback form. Tell me what your problem is, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And even what I will do is I will get back to you, and with your permission, I will use a secure program, go remote with you in my spare time, and actually fix it for you. Okay. But give me a bit of support. If you're looking at a product, please buy it off the website www.pccareman.com, and that helps me to pay my bills, and also helps me to help some other creator out there that can't afford in a third world how to get a software program. So that's basically what it's used for.